So many small caps that are moving really well today. Well, they've been moving this entire past 2 weeks. Is this still the morning? Good morning, guys. Hey, how's it going, Lou? It's been a while. My cat's not happy with me. He's going on a diet today. Hey, Augustine. Hey, good morning, Daniel. I'm doing good. Actually, today is one of my better days, trading wise. This week was gonna be a bummer. I was down $100 yesterday, but that was, prospectively, I could have been down almost $500, but being down 100 actually feels good. But today was a good day. I'll try to post a video up this weekend. But look at these, like LMFA here. And I know, Augustine, you're going to be bummed because you probably you're probably getting frustrated too, because I know you're using TradeNet, and wow, if you in my the halts and the small caps, so many of them aren't tradable, and all you can do is just watch them move, which is fine. It's good practice when you switch over to you know a good platform. Then you'll know what you're doing when you see one of those, you know. But this one is beautiful, but it is kind of scary, right? It fakes you out on the 1 minute, but it looks like it's about to go now, right here. There it is. This is a positive 1 minute trigger. And all that volume down here, this is kind of textbook, just get out when you can. Can you guys hear my cat here? Okay, buddy. I'll jump. Come on. Come on. Come on, Jack. Show them. Good. Okay. I'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, Jose? But yeah, so many small caps, guys. Like EBC, they're so fast moving, beautiful. Of course, when they move so fast, right? You just want to get out when you can, like this one. If you're one of those that think it's going to keep going, then you can't push your luck with these. But they just move, man. It's pretty awesome. But being small caps, you probably want a platform or you want to set up your platform for per trade when you start going heavy. That is because you don't want to be paying 6 cents a share when you want to put in, I don't know, 6,000. So what was good today? Like EMPH, that was a good one. Kinda. You can see that volume rise here. Not really, can you? It's not. This one's 30. I wouldn't have traded this one, but it was a strong move right here with that volume spike. Can't really see it. There we go. Excuse me. Okay, so it popped up here, volume, and then it just goes down, down, down. I'm always trying to get in on the 1 minute trigger. But this is all hindsight, guys. I think you guys know enough that I've already changed my approach. I only trade what I think is perfect. And just to give you a little bit of a spoiler, I traded APT here this morning, and you see that huge volume right there. So it was kind of choppy here. You guys see that? But then all we really want is for that one area of exhaustion where it just, and you see that volume rise. So this really pushed its luck, and it went up to here. And let's look at the daily. This is what gave me the conviction. You can really draw a very strong trend line here in this area. Guys, see that? How it just touches this. It's a dirty trend line, but it's an area for sure, you know? So all I was looking for was a 1 minute trigger after this huge ramp, and look what it did. This is a dream come true. So let me sit back down. So pretty good day. Hope you guys are doing well. If you guys haven't already, the easiest way to PM me is just straight through Jeremy Newby's Discord app, which is newbytrading.com. Oh, well, it's in the description. Newbytrading.com is where we all talk about possible trades here. No shorts for LMFA. Yeah, LMFA was a really nice one. Look at that. So with all these really fast moving stocks, you have potential. So that was a nice one. Guys, let me try to unlink this so I can show you. Oh, what the hell? Okay, I was just trying to unlink the trade manager just to show you what's not tradable, and it just took everything off. Let me just show you all the good ones. What was it? ABC, not tradable. What else is good? Well, LMFA, right? Not tradable. Basically, if you see something really good that's cheap, it's probably not tradable on TradeNet. Really frustrating. So it kind of, and I know even the Lightspeed account has restrictions on some of these. I guess Julian's on. What's going on, Julian? Augustine, Tuesday I had a bad day, but now I'm trying to slow down in practice. I know that I'm going to achieve consistency. I think you are. Have you been posting your videos? I am subscribed to you, but I wasn't notified. Hey Pedro. So keep up the streams. I mean keep up your trades online, because I do watch them. But the one thing, Augustine, that if you don't mind me saying publicly, that I feel like you really, that I see that this is a very common thing. You know, it's the concept of just trying to get in when you can, and then I feel like you're always getting in a little early, which, you know, it's a very common thing, because you can foresee it happening, and a lot of times you're right. But it's a really bad habit in my opinion, because what if a lot of times it goes against you, and then the method you're doing is very similar to what you see me doing years ago in my old videos, and I don't do that anymore. So I mean, honestly, I've been telling some people that always start off their PMs with me. It's like, I've been looking at your old videos, and I'm like, gosh, don't look at them anymore. But I almost want to take them down. But those videos were the ones that kind of made me, pretty popular on YouTube back in the day. So I can't really take them down, and I like watching them as well. But the main fact is, I don't trade like that anymore. Don't try to jump in. You always look for a signal. But the thing is, like, when you do trade like that, you actually do good, and it'll catch up, and then you'll end up with a big loss. So back in the days, 4 or 5 years ago, I had large losses, but I still had a 90 percentile win rate. So it was, to me, it was almost like it's worth doing. But after 10 years of trading, it's like, I'm tired of that. I don't want big, huge losses anymore. And I found that it's still achievable to wait for a signal and be late when it comes to a really strong counter trend, and still be profitable. Just don't be too greedy, right? Well, when things are moving really fast, so if you want to be one dimensional, Augustine, when it comes to a counter trend, look for everything that I've always talked about. The ramp, the consistent green candles, if you're going for a short, that is, and look for the parabolic move, and see if you can find the resistance area on the daily, and from there you can kind of just know if it's a really good trade. And if it's like an A plus setup, then look for that 1 minute trigger. Let it be late, because it's still going to be like a 1 minute trigger, and just wait for it, you know. And it's up to you to determine where your stop is. But since you're using TradeNet, you probably have to set your stop at high a day or something like that. But ultimately, I feel like you're doing really good. I like how you're really consistent. I don't see like um, I don't see you constantly correcting yourself or changing your strategy, which is a good thing. I don't know if you guys are into shooting, but when you're trying to when you're shooting a target and then you shoot once and it goes left, the next shot you don't aim right just to make it centered. You just keep shooting the same way you do to make a group, like a three hole group, and then you can verify exactly what you need to do to get it centered, right? Just because you shot left the first shot and then you try to adjust for the right shot, adjust right for that to get centered, you're not going to really figure out anything. You could have been just left on the first shot, right? So you have to create a grouping, and that's what you're doing. You're creating a really nice grouping, and then now, after you consistently figured it out, just start moving your strategy a little bit more to get that bullseye. Hey Pedro, yeah, I had one trade, and like I've been talking about in my videos, that's how I do things now. I take maybe no more than 3 trades. Um, Actually, yesterday I took maybe 4 on 3 tickers. But yeah, that's what's making it so hard to make these videos now, because I'm not, even if I stream, it's hard to find something that's while I'm on stream, because I'm every day I'm done in less than an hour. So all I can do is almost every day, it's like I wake up and I find the trade, and then I get on stream just to try to help y'all out. But I don't have the skin in the game, because I'm satisfied with where I'm at. Especially today. I don't want to spoil it, so I'll post the video soon. It's probably one of my largest wins so far. Um, JNUG? Isn't JNUG a Direxion share? I don't really. I'm. I don't have good luck with those. Yeah, it's just not the shape I'm looking for. But I see the potential you're talking about, uh, Gabriel. Hey, what's going on, Gianluca? Nuck looks good. No, no. Um, can't find that on my. Oh, what is a 1 minute trigger, Augustine? Okay, well let's just look at let's look at APT. That was a clean one, right? Kind of. So it's going up. See, there are a lot of areas that you can see that kind of looks like it could be a trigger. Say like this area right here. A 1 minute trigger is any candle that passes out the previous candle in the 1 minute time frame. So with this one right here, it ramped up consistently with green candles, and it's parabolic right here, and it hit an area that has some strong daily resistance, and you have the volume right here. So all I'm waiting for is so the previous candle, this green candle, it has a low of 16.99. So if it triggers, it'll be anything under 16.99. That would be a 1 minute trigger. And in this case, this one went down to 16.97, so 2 cents. And it kind of fakes you out, but it figures its way, and then it went. That's a 1 minute trigger. Yes, on Tuesday I lost because I take stupid setups. That wasn't my setup. Yeah, okay. That's something I wanted to cover in my next video, actually. I was just talking to my wife about how she was joking about the terminology. She wasn't joking. I was surprised she actually knows the terminology. The acronym FOMO. I've been hearing that acronym being thrown around a lot nowadays. FOMO. And the funny thing is, when I heard FOMO, I'm like, why are they talking about Ford? Because back in the days, FOMOCO was labeled on all over Ford products. So I have a classic Mustang, so all of my parts had FOMOCO. So I had no idea why they were talking about Ford, so I was totally off there. And my wife even used the word FOMO. So I looked it up, and it means fear of missing out, right? I'm sure all of you already know this. And that's a really that's we're always that's the
DMAC.
That's the love-hate relationship in trading, right? It's like you wanna you when you're maybe the first 5 years of trading, you really don't want to miss out on a really good trade. But then a part of you knows that there's always tomorrow. And there are these hardcore snipers, those penny stock $1 break traders. And those are rare, especially when it fits their parameters. Those kind of traders wait weeks, if not a month, for 1 or 2 trades. Can you imagine that kind of mindset when you only take 1 or 2 trades a month, and then it makes up for the entire monthly. They'll make tens of thousands of dollars. So just put that in perspective, that when you think you have that FOMO, that fear of missing out, it's the mindset is off, in my opinion. You should have. I was just joking with my wife. I was thinking, it's better to have a fear of losing than to have a fear of missing out. So
UONE.
just always, whenever you see a really fast moving stock, always just wait for that 1 minute trigger. because when it moves that fast, you know it's going to have enough room for you to profit. Don't get in because you think it's going to just do a curl down, because then it gets blown around by SPY, and it may not go your way because you know how the market is right now. Really not volatile. Right now it's not that volatile at all. It's just dead, you know, and just it takes one person to say something and a fat finger just to like make things all messed up, technically. Yeah, Alex has a good point there. It really does matter about your style. But Alex Augustine is adopting my style like to a T. So I'm just telling him exactly how I would do it. That way it doesn't really cause too much, you know, too much noise in the head. So I do believe like when it comes to especially a lot of engineer minds, you know, where they're set in their ways, and they just need to be told one method. Especially when I teach, you know, back in the days, I used to. There are two kinds of students. There's a kind that just says, just don't tell me three different ways. Just tell me one way, and I won't get confused. But if you, like, if I taught middle school, they love the idea that I can show them how to do fractions, you know, five different ways, and I'll give them five different examples. But by the next day, they don't know how to do fractions because they don't know which method to use. So, you know, it really comes down to just learning one method and perfecting that method, and then and prevailing, and then you can start spiraling in those other methods. Oh, you're not causing any friction, Alex. You're good. Hey, Daniel. Uh, Kenji, how's it going, man? I like your videos, by the way. You have some really deep thinking. Can't talk like you, that's for sure. When you decide that your trading system needs adjustment, when do you decide? I feel like my trading system worked in May, but once June came around, it completely messed up the past two third weeks. If that's the case, you know what? Somebody mentioned to me, what do you do in the summers? Somebody asked me what I how I do I change my strategy in the summers because it's slower, and a part of me just didn't quite understand that concept. Um, I had to actually, you know, rewind the tape in my head and try to actually conceptualize if it actually is slower. So the way I think doesn't really affect how the market is. Honestly, I do believe he has a point though. And comment for me if you will. Let me know if you think that is the market slower in the summer? Because I really don't know, and I really don't see that because most of my moves are slightly catalyzed, so it doesn't matter how the overall market is. It just I guess I can find out just by looking at SPY. But so your question was, when do you decide that your trading system needs adjustment? I feel like my trading system worked in May, but once June came along, it just completely messed up. That's a tough question for me, honestly, Kenji, because I don't recall the last time I needed adjustment. I did it. I did adjust, not because of my percentage win rate, but because I just want to change in lifestyle. Um, so when I picked it
Hey
back up
Daniel.
after COVID, the trading, I decided to start how I usually trade, just trade all day and spread out my risk. But then now it's like, okay, I'm honed in now. I'm back in the game. Take my training wheels off, and I'm just gonna trade no more than five. I'm looking for only perfect trades, and then I'll increase my shares. And in my opinion, that actually still comes out to be less risky in an overall scheme of things. So my adjustment was recently was only based on my lifestyle and my stress tolerances. So I guess, Kenji, what I'm getting at is make sure that your strategy itself is needing adjustment. Make sure you're in the right place. I'm pretty sure you already know this because you really sound like you know yourself in your videos. Um, so yeah, I mean, if it's not working, um, maybe hit me up on the Discord app, and so you can PM me and talk to me about your strategy. I mean, just because I only do one strategy doesn't mean that I don't understand other strategies. It's just I like to focus on. I like to be honed in on a specific strategy. So yeah, let me know. Email me or something, and let me know what your strategy is. Then I can possibly figure out. So if the market is slow in the summer, then breakouts are going to be more difficult, right? And but honestly, in the overall scheme of things, the one thing that everybody tends to fail on is that FOMO mentality. Are you taking one trade every day just because you want to fit your quota? You know, make sure that it's your strategy, because a lot of times it may not be. So because of that, like how Augustine has been doing, record your trades so you can back test it, so you can look at it again and then ask yourself, why did it go wrong? Because otherwise you just have that one moment when you're in the trade and you just have to rewind it in your head. It's easier to see it visually and just back test it, and then you can verify if it was something worth learning or not. I hope that helps. Happy Friday, Tara. It's a good Friday for me. This week was going to be a minimum wage week until today. How much is minimum wage, by the way? I don't even know. I told my wife that I made 200 today and it was minimum wage, and well, not today, but the other day, and she started laughing at me. Yeah, Augustine, practice. But I think the one thing everybody has a problem with on my strategy is perfection based on practice, or looking for perfection. Can you find what the best stock is? Okay, yeah, that is the main thing. Finding the right stock to trade. Because I see a lot of, like right now, like this one right here, for instance, TGT. Look at this one. It's going up, right? And then maybe I can find a daily resistance area. Yeah, we can. Look right here. It's a solid resistance area right here, right? So why not take it? You can see that it hits all these areas perfectly. Well, there's no volume, right? There's no rampant volume. There's no significant parabolic move. This one will probably go without me, and I'm not afraid of missing out on this one, even though it looks really good on the daily chart. So that's the hardest part. The hardest part is just letting things go. You I I mean, now that I've only do like two tickers a day or less, some days I don't even take anything because it doesn't fit my parameters. It's frustrating because I see everything just go without me, and that's the hardest part. The patience area. EBC. Look at EBC, guys. These small caps, penny stocks are just insane. Look at that. Look at the volume. It's quite predictable.
CRH.
And it being so cheap is a lot of fun. Okay, so yes, I'll check it out for you. Check my email.
EBC, EBC, EBC.
The Happy Angel. That's a nice name. Target stores are going to start paying $15 an hour. Oh, is that the minimum wage or is that above minimum wage? That's nice. When I started as a mechanic, I got paid 15 an hour. I like Target. This saves me from Walmart. Bobby. Short Walmart, long Target. I'm looking at my Discord. Sorry. Um, let's see. Eric, message retracted. Oh, that sucks.
EBC.
Tara, can I get the trade ID scan? Yeah. Just email me or find me on the Discord app. I prefer the Discord app because then everything is filed away. Um, you don't. I'm one of those guys that can't organize. So direct message me. It's all here. I mean, I get to have you there so we can PM if you have any questions and stuff. It should be in the description, newbietrading.com. It's my friend Jeremy Newbie's chat room. He's a really good trader, by the way. You should check him out. I don't think he's here today.
EBC,
He's probably flying his plane.
EBC, 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 EBC.
There's nothing more fun than to hear my trade ideas just keep shouting out a ticker. That's when you know something's blowing up, like EVC right here. So here's a good example, Augustine, for on a 1 minute trigger, because this thing is blowing up so quickly, it's parabolic, and the 1 minute trigger is all the way down here. So this one's hard to do, right? I mean, the fear of missing out because it's going to go all the way back down. You could start with a small lot, half your shares, general shares, but this one looks potentially beautiful, right? You just have to be careful. Kenji says, I trade gaps. Oh, okay. As I stick, but sometimes the SPY does weird stuff. Yeah, it does. SPY is, in my opinion, the wind. It'll blow things around. But the beauty of your morning gap trades is, algorithms and machines haven't taken over yet. It's just a bunch of traders pushing things the way they want it. I record most of my trades, but I rewatched them. I still think to myself, I do most things right. Okay, well, the one thing I know about breakout trading is, to me, it's 60%. But I mean, the success rate is 60%, but your win percentage is really, I mean, not win percentage, your win loss ratio is really high, meaning that when it does go, those 60% of the time, it's going to go really well for you, right? As long as you let it go for you. There it goes, Augustine. Almost a 1 minute trigger right here. So there's still that 40% chance of failure. And then I think I mentioned in one of my videos that say technically, statistically, out of 10 trades, that'll be 6 trades that go well and 4 trades that don't go well. But when you have 1 day, when you have 10 days and 8 days go poorly, then you start questioning, right? Because that's an 80% fail rate. But then, statistically, out of 20 days, it's very possible that you have a win streak of 12 days. So it really gets tricky Excel spreadsheet maybe, or just write it down how many wins you have, and then the one thing about the breakouts is if it's only 60%, or people are actually proud of 50%, which is fine as long as you let your winners run, right? Because with gap trades, trend is your friend, right? It just gets really choppy, and I can't hold my breath that long. That's why I don't do it. Um, that's the main reason why I always push my beginner clients to do the counter trend, because it's so fast, and it's, in my opinion, is predictable. But you do have to have like specific stuff, like a very fast platform. You Thinkorswim may not be the best bet for you, and yeah, there's pros and cons to all different strategies. But the one thing that everybody fails on when it comes to a beginner trader on gap trading is the fact that it's just shy of over 50% success rate. So you're going to see yourself lose all the time, and then when you do win, it's really hard to hold on because the wind's blowing it all over the place, right? When I do well, I'm at 60%. Well, that's cool. So yeah, just try to stay as focused as you can and let the winners run. That's my suggestion if you do the breakout trading. I know somebody I like watching because he's entertaining, and I enjoy watching new traders try to succeed, because I am rooting for them, by the way. I don't want anyone to fail. But Scroll Trader does the breakouts, morning pullback breakouts. They're not they're not specifically gap trades, but gap and goes are basically from the pullback, so they're relatively the same. Scroll Trader, he's cool. I like watching his stuff. He talks a lot more than me. Let me find him. This guy right here. I mean, it's cringy, but he does well. He seems to have it down pretty well. I just hope the YouTube people don't push him around too much, because I do recall not too long ago that he didn't take a trade, and I saw a lot of thumbs down for that because it was boring. Trading is not for entertainment. Hey Ravd, how's it going? I know it's really frustrating to see that TradeNet doesn't allow you to trade anything that volatile. So I mean, that's the thing with our strategy, right? We want volatility, and then when TradeNet sees it, they just say, no, it's too risky. Any of you guys that are that have chimed in to ask me for my scanner, I added an extra scanner here for halts. I like this a lot, even though mainly for Lightspeed, because TradeNet knows which ones are really volatile. If it's really volatile, it makes that 7% move, it's going to hit the halt, and when it hits the halt, then you got yourself something really good, and potentially when it unhalts. I'll share a video like that soon. But what was it? Chesapeake, CHK, that wasn't tradable on TradeNet. It made a huge move. There was this Chinese stock that went from $10 to $100 and kept halting. And after it hit $125, it showed its very first unhalt red candle, and it halted at $100 on its way down, and then the very next time it opened, which wasn't 5 minutes, it was like 30 minutes, it opened at like $50. Can you imagine the potential there? Daniel asked how Warrior Trader holds his breath. Sometimes he doesn't. I used to be in his chat room when there was only like 10 people in it, and he doesn't. He's really. I haven't seen him lately, honestly, because I don't want noise. But sometimes he's in and out real fast. He just throws down a lot of shares and he gets out as fast as possible, because really needs to break out the way he wants to. If there's any pullback, then it could be like a potentially horrible trade because of the amount of shares he has. So um, I don't know if he actually talks about that, but if it looks good in the very beginning, then he'll hold on. But if there's any slight resistance after a breakout, he's out, and then he could make $500 because of the amount of shares he has, or it could potentially go against him. But yeah, I did notice that he did have a huge win not too long ago, right? Like, and of course it was it IMDM, or it was one of those stocks that TradeNet wouldn't let you trade. Yeah, Ravdi, they get to do what they want. They're the only ones that gives you that buying power. But yeah, you're right. They could limit their risk by having us trade less. But it's whatever. I'm just glad they may have stopped accepting U.S. citizens as U.S. clients, but at least they still let my clients have their account. Because in the previous stream we were trying to figure out, well, what's the next best thing. It looks like it's CMEG, right?
KTOV kicked off Pharma, shares popping to the highs, 51 cents, up 7%. Kilo Tango Oscar Victor.
Yeah, these penny stocks, guys. Charlie's talking about this thing right here. They're just booming. Yeah, Ross, with all his clients, he's getting, he's already rich. Yeah, I mean, you can risk it. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that because of all his clients. He is most likely a successful trader. He is, regardless if he has his chat room or not. He has a lot of money. He can do that. But perspectively, it's not about the shares, right? It's about the range.
Overstock, Oscar Sandy Tango Kilo. Overstock shares popping to the high, 23.55, up 5% for OSTK.
Loading the
Oscar
boat.
Sandy Tango Kilo.
BKNG. Ooh, this thing is thin. On short, yeah, I don't even have my.
KTOV kicked off more.
Okay, I see
Now,
it, Alex.
10%, Kilo Tango Oscar Victor.
So you're looking for that fade out, right? Cool. I just can't stand these charts with all these dots, though. That's just me, though. This one's expensive. Wow. What's the spread like? $2 spread, $3 spread. That's interesting. I just don't know how to read those. That's cool, Alex. I'm sure you know what you're doing. Speaking of knowing what you're doing, you guys hear about that news about that the poor young man that
PRG, Progenity, Open, Papa Romeo, Oscar,
committed suicide because he didn't read his options correctly on Robinhood. Now that's sad.
Secretary Pompeo says U.S. will treat Hong Kong the same way as China, to the extent that China treats Hong Kong like China.
And then he was blaming Benzinga. Yeah, it's just horrible to hear. But what I didn't like was the fact that some news people were saying that he was a traitor. What classifies somebody as a traitor just because you trade? I don't think so. And that really comes down to another point that YouTube is. I've always said this, and it's this. YouTube is very negative biased, right? I mean, it's easy to hate on people. It's easier to hate on people than to push them up on the internet. I mean, you don't want to be like brown nosing somebody, but what YouTube characters will do is call people out. And the one thing everyone's doing right now is trying to attack all these like what do you call them? Oh yeah, fake gurus, right? And so when people ask me like, what do I think of Timothy Sykes or what's his name, Steve, that young Asian guy that did really well, and if ask me if they're real or if they're fake gurus, and then the one question always relies on like, well, how much money are they making off their education package? Because then it really cancels you out as a possible guru, right? Steve Dukes. Thank you, Derek. Dukes. But to me, it's like a lot of them are just trying to make a secondary form of monetary income,
BHVN.
a side hustle. So it's really hard to verify. But the way I see it is, these guys actually did make a lot of money. The question is, how long could they have sustained that kind of strategy? I know people that made 100,000 in a year, maybe the first 2 years, and then they'll lose all of it. I know traders that traded for 3 years successfully, and then they fail boat and they're out. It takes more than just practicing for 3 years and then saying I finally got it, because for half a year you're doing well. You may do well as long as you sustain it, but so how are you going to sustain it? Well, maybe have a side hustle, right? So the only real way to know is there is no real way actually. Most of the best traders aren't going to spend their time on YouTube to talk, because they're too busy making money. Why would they even bother trying to teach anybody? That's how my dad would tell me too. That's why I don't charge anything. I mean, I have nothing to share anyways, except ramble like I am right now. That was my wife. So yeah, there's this guy named CoffeeZilla, and he's calling out all the fake gurus like Dan Lok, Ricky Gutierrez. I know he's a trader, right? He's a ETF trader, I think. I don't really keep up with these people, but he did have a real interesting video about day traders and how he pulled out the statistics of how only 1% of day traders succeed, and of those 1%, even less than, I don't remember the number, so I won't say it, but look, Alex here, BKNG. Nice, Alex. Yeah, natural gas. He does degas and stuff like that. So that means he only trades like a few times a week. So that's a really good strategy, because it takes a lot of focus, and you get that financial freedom and blah blah. But yeah, CoffeeZilla was talking about day trading and how less than 1%, and of those, a lot of them don't make more than minimum wage. So it's good to watch. So what was I getting at? Right, how that young man committed suicide, and how the news will just call people traitors just because you traded, but you're not a trader. So my argument is, just because you traded on Robinhood doesn't make you a real trader. So that 1% that he's calling out succeeding, I think the percentage is actually pretty high, is a bit higher than that, because you can't officially call yourself a trader unless, in my opinion, unless you actually succeeded quite a bit, and that means,
ULTA.
and if you've done that and you own and you create a range of people, then there's a higher percentage of day traders out there, right? In my opinion. I mean, if day traders required a degree, then the percentage of success rate will be a lot higher. That's what I'm trying to get at.
WKHS.
Awesome. Congratulations, Alex. How did you call that? I don't understand how you knew that this was going to happen. Oh, okay. I think I see it. It has a lot of volume here and it went nowhere. So this is kind of like a
ULTA.
sideways consolidation, squeeze, exhaustion, fall on its butt kind of move. Is that what happened, Alex? So BHVN is going down pretty strong to an
SBH.
interesting area. Systematic trading.
WEX.
Everything is programmed. Okay, Terminator. Regardless. Nice. Whatever works.
Info.
BHVN
RHP.
is down to here. You can see a trend line here.
BHVN.
BHVN looks interesting. But this is why I wouldn't trade it, because it had a really strong pullback here for a reset. So this is going to be the support area. A very strong resistance
INTC.
area. If you're willing to accept that your resistance area is right here, then it may be a good trade. But
ABH.
also the volume isn't quite there
Wax.
just yet. Okay, SBH. This one's a pretty nice dive here, isn't it? What is this? Sally Beauty Salon. 1 cent spread. This is a potentially good trade, guys.
RHP.
Down here, this candle has a daily area of was that low of 1230? We're at 1230 now.
Info.
Next move down would be down to 1201. 1201. This is kind of clean, isn't it? Look at all that volume. It just broke down 1230. So don't know what to say about that. Are they huge? Wait, it's only 1 cent. Am I reading it wrong? Or they could get spready, could they? No, it's still 1 cent. Are we looking at the same thing? Daniel? You're probably commenting on the other stock. Yeah, those spreads were huge. The one Alex traded. He used his machine. There it goes. Now the next question is how far will it go, right? So generally I would have the where is it? Is it this one? Yeah. No, it's not. It's this one. I'll have to see. It's even outside the VWAP channel. So it just touched the 9-minute, barely, on the 1-minute chart, and then the 5-minute chart. It still has quite a ways to go to 12:54, and it's still outside the channel. So maybe just give it some time. Oh, this is spy related, guys. I'm sorry about that. I didn't notice. It's doing what spy wants right here. This to me is a. If I saw spy do this, I would hold off on trades. Because a lot of times spy will just do what it does. But it doesn't mean it won't still go. One sec. I'm gonna transfer a file real fast. Let's see what happens. Okay.
WEX, DRI.
Hey Yang, it's been a while. Welcome.
Net,
Oh, look at net. Actually, everything's going down right now. I didn't notice, like,
ULTA.
this thing is telling me that there's a lot of new lows. So when that happens, guys, then it's really hard to verify which one is going to really go or not, because this is a very strong, just market rejection, not a specific stock in general. Hey Terry, it's going well. Today is a good day. I did one trade. Unfortunately, it's not on stream. It never is, because it's always just that one trade,
WEX,
But I'll post it probably after my next video. I may do a
DRI.
specific video on questions. It's been a while, so I have a lot of questions I haven't answered. Specifically about, next video is probably going to be about when not to trade. Hey, that's always a good day.
KMX,
Red to green is a great day, right? Isn't it, Terry?
ULTA.
It's even better than having a really bad red day to a slightly bad red day.
Roku,
Yeah, you can thank Ivan, an old friend of mine in trading. He told me that it's probably a good topic, what not to trade, and that really comes down to that
Wax.
same concept that I was talking about earlier about the fear of missing out, because a lot of people just trade too much, in my opinion. Yeah, especially on Friday, when something like this happens on SPY, then, in my opinion, the technicals are all going to be misinterpreted on the scanner, because it's going to pop up, and I guess I wouldn't know what to do from here,
ULTA.
because if it pops back up, we don't know why it went down like this. Well, at least I don't. Anybody have a clue why it's going down like this? Let me check the Discord app and see what they say. You got some smart people. No, none of the news people are on to tell us why. Is Trump about to talk or something? Maybe it's a COVID thing. Awesome, Terry. Yeah, it's always nice for us mice to get a little bit of that cheese. We never know. We never know anything, right, Zeeps? But yeah, maybe let's see what happens. Meanwhile, can you guys do me a solid and click the like so that I get into that YouTube algorithm? Gently depress the like button. Kenji, sometimes I feel like my trading is improving because of better trading systems and psychology, but on paper my account seems slowly going down. How do I know if I'm really progressing? I'm not sure what a proper trading progression looks like.
KNX.
That's a tough question, Kenji. But I mean, all in all, let's just say
ULTA.
give it a month, and if it's just not working, then it's not working. I don't ever do breakout trades, and two really good reasons is I'm not a morning person, so I'm never going to be that focused, capable of taking that kind of stress because things move really fast, right? The movement is just you hear that bell and it's just off to the races, and it's really down to like if you're looking at the right stock. Nothing frustrates me more than being in the wrong stock when you watch the other one go, and then it makes you feel like maybe I should have money on
DRI.
2 horses instead of 1, because it does feel like gambling, right? I don't wanna sound like I'm trying to sway you my way, but maybe look into counter trend. Maybe look into that and see how you like it. I feel like most people that don't do well in the breakout trades may not be ready yet. I don't think I'll ever be ready, but if you think you have the ability to focus on something, wait for it to hit an area, snipe it, and then profit off that, then maybe try that approach. Try that on paper at least, and see how that goes for you. Yeah, Leo has a point there. The only way breakout trading works well based on my sub 60% win rate is if you let the trades go for you, and that's hard because a lot of times it'll go and then it'll come back to neutral and then it'll go again, or even red. Yang asks, have you ever scalping? I think I've been accused of scalping all the time, because I'm out in like seconds. So yeah, I think I'll just call myself a scalper from now on, I think scalping has a lot of different terminologies. Some people think scalping is getting out fast. Some people, like me, think scalping is a type of trading, a system based on reading the tape and momentum. A lot of scalpers, if you're scalping a reversal, it's one of those Bollinger Band scalpers that are trying to take the small little pullbacks on a trend, right? So if the trend is moving, then you're going to scalp that little move down and it's going to go back up. But I rarely ever do that because that reduces your win ratio, your win rate, because a lot of times you don't catch enough of that small move to make a profit. So you may see me do that in in my old videos. But that's only because I didn't catch the correct top or bottom. And I still don't. But I'm always looking for something that's just way fully extended, just so I have enough room for error or slippage just to catch that move down. So, and time frame wise, it is somewhat of a scalp, but even if I get out early, I know that there's a high chance that it's going to continue on down. So it's not quite a scalp from that move. Yeah, slippage, Kenji, it does make losers worse, doesn't it? I can definitely contest to that, or attest to that. When it comes to the TradeNet platform, there's a lot of slippage. So just knowing that you're able to profit off a platform like this gives you more conviction to know that when you switch over to a good, a PDT ruled platform or direct access, you're going to have better fills. You're going to profit a lot more. Jose says, I started using a 1 minute and 5 minute chart together. Once they both confirm with volume, I'm in. Yeah, I like that idea. That's a solid idea. Because the 5 minute will clean things up and show more uniformity, and it also suggests that it has potential to move more in an overall scheme of things. And then the 1 minute tells you, well, 1 minute tells you everything, if it's a fast mover or not. So Leo says, try a 3-to-1 ratio if you're trying to make one your risk should only be 3. That's subjective depending on your strategy. Say like if you're a counter trender and you're 90%, then you could afford a 50-50 ratio. You know what I mean? So it really depends. And I really don't like throwing these like solid numbers down. That's another thing that somebody asked me earlier about like if you should only be risking 1% of your account, then it's really about how much are you under that PDT rule, because you can't have your account below 25,000 anyways. And then you're using on a margin. So if you have $30,000, you're actually only having a $5,000 worth of being able to risk $5,000, because if you surpass 25,000, then you're under, aren't you? So 1% of that is what, $300? Are you going to risk $300 on one trade, or on 10 trades in one day? But when you say 1%, that sounds really little, right? It really is dependent on how perfect are you in your trade. And yeah, so you can't really, throwing percentages around is very tricky when it comes down to like the type of trader you are. So be wary of, I mean, I know all of you want to have data down and know to have a proper system, but the system is very fluid. You know, there a lot of things. There are too many variables to just say this is determinant towards this. I'm sure there is a formula, but I think you guys know what I mean. So you guys have any questions for me? I mean, after SPY does something like this, this one's a break even pretty much. May have stopped somebody out down here. But it's hard to determine if it's going to come up now, because it really looks like to me it's dead. This thing is dead to me. Terry says, "Can I borrow some money?" I think I owe you a beer. I think you did a call out one time, and I owe you a beer. I don't know how I'm gonna send it to you. I'll Venmo you. How much is a beer? $5? Do you think it's possible that your counter trend strategy could perform the same on a longer time frame? Yeah, less. Actually, Jeremy Newby could answer that, but he doesn't like being on mic. He does both parabolic and curl downs. I like the parabolic move because it gives you that exhaustion point. But he'll take something that works well on the 5 minute, and generally the ones that work on the 5 minute work well on the 5 minute and 9 minute EMA, and he'll scale out. So yeah, it does work well. I'm not sure about the 10 minute and 1 hour, but the whole point is to find the very top or bottom, and that's really hard to do. But once you get to that, once you know that you've hit an area, a wall in the daily, then you can almost be certain that you can hold it throughout the entire day if you really wanted to. Hey, what's going on, Mahmood? I think I'm saying your name right. Yeah, I took one trade. It went well. I'll post it maybe on my second video. I haven't posted a good video in a while. All I've been posting was like crap because trying to de-stress from that 1 week of migraines. That was a bad week. But I'm doing good now. Karnan, you're back. Welcome. That's a very good point, E. He says most people never count the accuracy into their profit-loss ratio. And then on top of that, there's that how many of those profit-loss ratios and win rates are based on what tier of trade you're taking. Was it a perfect A plus, or was it just an A? I mean, how slutty are you when it comes to trading? Are you going to trade anything above a B? Or you're only taking tens, you know, you're only taking those perfect setups. Karnan says, how's your weight training? Isn't that, well, I'm not training anymore. This COVID thing is just getting worse, according to the numbers. I mean, it's probably skewed based on all the testing, the more testing, but my wife recently drove by a testing site, which was a Walgreens that converted into a testing site, and the line was backed out into the streets. I was alarmed when I saw a dozen cars, but now there's like 30 cars. So I'm just, I'm not going to be going to any competitions. TradeView. Is that, Yang asked if I use TradeView. I've been, oh, the trading journal. No, I don't. Maybe I should, but I don't. I used to have I used to actually just, that's how old school I am. I had it on paper. I didn't even use an Excel spreadsheet. I just put it down on paper. You know, trading is a lot like dating, in my opinion. Not that I know anything about that anymore, now that I'm married. But the more you date, the more you know exactly what you want. And so you're not looking for anything but perfection, you know? Yeah, I love paper and pen. Oh no, paper and pencil. No pens. No pens in my classroom. Here's a story behind that one. So I used to teach Title One school, which is a not high. Okay, it's a low socioeconomic school. So a lot of them don't really care about school, right? But my students like me a lot because I try to make it fun. At least I think I did. You can see me on Facebook. You'll see a lot of them were my former students. So I think I built a nice relationship with a lot of my students. But including the one I'm about to talk about right now. You guys know about Scantrons if you live in the U.S. In fact, did you guys know that Scantrons are mainly, if not 100%, only used in the U.S.? The rest of the world don't use Scantrons because they actually grade. So we're so lazy. We taught our students how to do multiple choice. Basically, taught a lot of our students how to take a test, not how to do math. But anyways, Scantrons, I'm handing them out. Those are the ones where you fill in the circles, right? Fill in the just like the SATs. And of course, being in low socioeconomic and a lot of students not even caring about school, they don't have their pencils. So I have to hand out pencils, which is a pain in the butt because, schools don't pay for pencils. You have to buy them. And then when you hand them out, you're not going to get them back. So ACTT tank. All the way down to check this out. It's all the way down to here. You were done with ACTT a long time ago, guy. I mean, girl. But yeah, it's too late now. It's a nice pop down. So I was handing out a test and doing the Scantrons, and so basically half of my entire class needed a pencil. A freaking pencil, it's like you're in math class and you don't have a pencil. So I'm handing out all the pencils. One guy says I missed him. I'm like, hold on, just wait your turn. So before I know it, I turn back around and the dude is filling out the Scantron in pen. So we got into an argument. Me trying not to say, why are you so stupid? And,
CHWY.
It turned into a big thing because he started talking about me on Facebook, and he totally forgot I was his friend on Facebook. CHWY did a nice pop. And then after that, since I'm friends with teachers on Facebook, they saw my conversation with this student on Facebook, and administration, the principal, the very next day had a meeting with all the teachers. So because of me, the principal got all the teachers to come after school into the theater to talk about how we shouldn't have friends on Facebook that are students. But she kept me anonymous. But I knew she was talking about me. Chewy's nice pop right here. Could trigger on ones. But I need to check the daily on this one. Yeah, Chewy could go higher. But that is a really strong pop right there, right? So, and also be wary of that 6 cents, 7 cent spread. You really need a trigger on this one. Don't just jump in my opinion.
CHWY.
Just let this one go until it hits an exhaustion point. Because you see the volume is backwards. It did a pop and now it's just kind of fading out. I believe Yang mentioned this. How it's more evident during the fade, but in my opinion, it's more evident the opposite direction. I want it to exhaust and then come down, not pop and then just kind of curl down, because then it can pop back up. So you need a real trigger on this one. So something like this is where slippage is, having a fast platform is really important, right? So Thinkorswim on this is difficult because I can already tell my trade net's faster than Thinkorswim just by looking at the charts back and forth. Okay, here's the trigger. Here comes the trigger right here. Anything past the previous green candle, now it's pretty much a trigger right there. And then just put your stop at high day. Look at that thing pop back up. Scary. That's why I don't like to do the ones that have these kind of volume here. It's not a parabolic spike and dive. But let's see. I'm not in this, by the way, if you're asking. I'm just commenting on something, how these kind of stocks move. When you see the volume like this, it gets tricky. And then you have to, it doesn't really tell you that it's done.
CHWY.
Okay, there it goes. It's going again. And so there was a first fake out on the 1 minute trigger. And be prepared because it may go. These are tricky because these are curl downs. There's always that part, right, that tells you, what is that, fear of missing out, because it just may just pop down. But I tell you right now, I've seen too many of these to risk that kind of move. The only reason I would be in something like this is if I got faked in. And it's Chewy, guys. You don't short Chewy. It's just bad luck.
CHWY.
I mean, your dog's got to eat. You could just tell from earlier today. It did the same thing. Look at that. And it popped back up. Scary. But you know, after it does that, there's that fade. And I don't like these fades. And that's a long time to hold my breath. That's over an hour. But you know, it is a potential trade for some of you that know how to trade these. Peter Smithville, how's it going, man? Haven't heard from you. Just bear in mind that if you're in the US, they don't accept US clients anymore. It's a new thing. Well, the slippage is, in my opinion, in relation to light speed, it's huge slippage. I mean, I can't just click on the level 2 and just short on the bid, you know, because because TradeNet wants a few cents extra. It will say something like too close to price or something if you do a limit order. So the way I trade with TradeNet is almost market only. But even when I look into my video to see where the slippage came from, it's hard to tell. So yeah, I'd really like to hear from a lot of you that have
CHWY.
experience with CMEG and the other ones. What kind of slippage are we talking about? And how many trades are tradable? How many locates? But if you're a beginner and if you're a beginner and you take the right trade, it's going to be green. That's the bottom line. If you're a scalper, then you'll still be green if, you know, but the slippage is based on, like, it's like this. If you look at my videos, like the ones that I show the trades, and you pause it right at the part of execution, you can notice that that $500 win may come out to be like 400 something because of the slippage. And so part of me feels like, damn, you just stole some of my money, but that's just the slippage in there somewhere. So just be prepared for that. If you aren't initiated in trading, say if you haven't tried out 2 or 3 platforms, you may not know the difference, and you're going to do fine. I mean, I still have my account. Direct access. Oh, that sucks. You think they will close down now? I don't think so. A lot of yeah, I've had some people tell me, well, that they're going to lose a lot of customers, but they're huge elsewhere as well. It's just the U.S. And the fact that that they haven't just refunded me my money. There goes Chewy. It looks like it's going to go. Say like SureTrader. Remember when Ross Cameron was suggesting people try a SureTrader, and that was a CFD as well. And then they closed down. They went bankrupt or something, and then they turned into F1 trading. So, but TradeNet's been around still. So the idea that I still have my account means that they haven't really truly broken any laws just yet. All that really happened was they don't want to deal with the possible issues behind the CFD and the law. They just kind of worked their way around it, in my opinion, which is fairly genius. Yeah, I did see that. Was it 200K? I thought it was 100K. I was Azapeta. How's it going, man? Or are you a guy? But was I a student at Ross Cameron? I kind of think I was. Long time ago, before Warrior Trading, and he's still around. Jason Bond Picks. I joined his chat room. Jason Bond, where he's one of those people that will just tell you what trade he's in, and it was a small cap, and I truly think it was, in my opinion, it's no good. That's when he tells you that he's in a trade, and then everybody else jumps in, and then it pumps his trade up, and then he can get out anytime he wants. But one of the moderators was Ross Cameron, and at that time he wasn't doing gap trading because he just wasn't. It wasn't his thing. He was just a trader in there. In which case, I did notice him do reversals and stuff, which was really interesting, and so I liked him as a guy, as a trader and as a person, because he wasn't Jason Bond. And then years later, I was doing well for myself, and then I noticed that he was starting up a new chat room, and I don't know if it had a name at all at that time. That was when there was under like 50 people, and I joined his chat room for free, I think, and then we just traded there. So not exactly a student, but we kind of traded aligned.
CHWY.
Yeah, you're gonna need a. I think, doesn't CMEG have a 5-to-1 ratio? So you need to have a nice amount of money inside that account. And there's, I don't want to like throw gossip, fake gossip around. But back in the days, there was a lot of controversy over Ross and using a simulator at that time. But is he real? I think he's real. Just throwing that out. But I'm all about not calling out any person a fake just because they sell something, you know? And I think Ross is one of the only people that nobody points out as fake, just because he's one of the very first people that did this as a day trader, and his niche is very good. I mean, he started off saying that all you have to do is wake up in the morning, trade for 30 minutes, under 30 minutes, and you're done. You go to your day job. Whereas my niche sucks ass. My niche is wake up late and quit your day job, and maybe you can trade like me. So I'm not gonna be able to sell anything. Not that I want to. Just saying. Everybody has a niche, right? And the breakout is the easiest niche of all because nobody wants to quit their job. You know, it's but in all honesty, in order to really trade, you really have to be focused, and you can't just be playing around. So it's almost like going to college. Nobody wants to spend $2,000, but at the same time, you'll still spend $2,000 for college, right? I agree, Alex. But I have actually honed down. I can now have a niche that says if you have an evening shift, you can possibly trade with me, because I don't trade. I pretty much for the past month I haven't been trading past noon. Yeah, Lou. I have to figure out a way around my wording, make it sound better. I can say that, you could make $1,000 in 10 seconds. I could say that, but
CHWY.
I'm still not selling anything, right? I mean, who's gonna trust a dog trainer anyways? Except for the fact that maybe you would realize that I don't make money training dogs. I make chump change. Thanks, Daily Tube Show. Come to think about it, that is a really good selling point, huh? I mean, if you can't trust a dog lover, who can you trust? ONEM is parabolic, but it's a breakout, so I don't know about that. I do make money with dogs, Augustine, but it's nothing like trading, right? I charge because a lot of mine are pro bono. Like the whole idea of being able to train dogs was to save dogs, and the ones that need saving are in the shelter, and so, these nonprofit organizations will pay me, but I don't want to take a lot of their money, right? So I may charge like $30 or $40 a day while they're boarded with me, and because these dogs are aggressive, I can't have more than one or two dogs, so I don't hardly make any money with those. But on the flip side, there are people that want me to train a protection dog or a service dog. Then I could charge up to over $100 per dog to compensate for the lack of money that I make in dog training. Say like if there's a dog that isn't a shelter dog and it has aggression issues, then I may possibly charge over $100, sometimes $150 depending on the issue. But you make,
ONEM.
once you get day trading down packed, you should be making a proper salary, right, for the amount of stress you put yourself into. For me, it should be well over $300 a day. You know, so that's that's 3 dogs a day. And as long as I don't have my facility, as long as I'm still waiting on my facility and teaching dogs at home, I can't take on more than 3 dogs, or 1 dog even. Yeah, trading is my income. So I am technically a professional trader. I trade as a profession. And I don't sell anything, so I'm not a fake guru. You bastards. But yeah, this fake guru lifestyle world we live in is kind of crazy. There are a lot of people that make money off you based on how cringy they can get. Or not cringy, how douchey. Oh, you'd be surprised, Augustine. A lot of people think I sell something before they even know me. They'll think that I'm just trying to get popular to sell something. I have thought about the idea of coaching in which I would charge, but only just to weed out the people that aren't serious. You know what I mean? When I charge, I'm talking about like, you know, under $50 a month, because I don't want to hurt your wallet. I just want to weed out the people that don't want, you know, the concept has always been there. If you pay for it, then you expect something. So I'm not going to do it for free, because there's no way I'm going to be able to weed out the people that are willing to listen to me. So I think $50 a month is good for one-to-one training. You don't know how many people just come to me asking for help, and then, you know, I'll try to help you, but then they want to do their own thing. So what am I trying to help you on? I mean, understandably, if you have your system down and you just kind of want me to help tweak it, yeah, that's not a problem. But I won't charge for that. What I will charge is if I'm stressing over your success, and you're diverting and saying I should be doing something else, then why? You know, why? Oh, there's a lot of comments. People are not appreciative when something is free. Exactly. It's kind of like buying a BMW. I love BMWs, but they're expensive, and they have a lot of like mechanical issues. So put into perspective, like when you buy a BMW, if you know anything about oil changes, a lot of BMWs take 0 W40. That's a viscosity, right? That's the oil thickness. 0 means there's 0 thickness in the oil when it's not heated, or when it is heated. It's not heated? No, when it is heated. So that means BMWs have a high ability of burning oil, but they're still very popular because 0 viscosity also means that the engineering in the engine is, the tolerances of all the bearings are really tight. And when it's really tight, you got yourself a high performing machine. But there's a trade-off, right? The BMW is going to burn oil over time. So you got a car that burns oil, but it's supposed to be really high quality, and it is, but it requires more maintenance in a lot of areas. But you're okay with that because you spent $100,000 on a expensive BMW, and you expect it to work well. So you're going to look over these little nuances because it's a high performing machine. So, you know, perspectively, when you pay a lot, you expect a lot, and it's going to be good. But if when it's cheap, like a Hyundai, yeah, the resale value is crap. I can't charge more, Yang. If I ever do coaching, I can't charge more because I know it doesn't feel right, Because not only are you charging, but your students are going to lose money. It's bound to happen. So you're already paying for your own education every time you're losing, anyways. So why would I add to that? Yeah, Warren Mike's Lexus is an exception for sure, but prospectively, in Japan it's still a Toyota, right? All of my cars are Lexuses, by the way, except for my truck. That's a Toyota. And my Mustang. That's, a Mustang. Miro. Fire Phoenix says Miro. I can't find that. Wrong symbol? Or is it Nero? Well, Alex, I probably would, but I'm lazy. If I really put a huge effort into it and I'm gonna lose hair out of it, then yeah, I'll charge more. If I take a shower and I start seeing hair on the ground, I'm gonna start charging more. But I'll look into that in the future. At the moment, it does kind of look like I may actually go that way with Jeremy Newby, but I'm really still hoping that this COVID thing kind of dies off and we have like a real solution. Then I could just go back to my dog training, and then I can charge maybe $20 a month. Doggy discount. Go fund a dog, and then I'll train you. Warren Mike's asks, have I used volume profile? What does that mean? Are you asking if I can have... I do have volume as a consideration in my trading. One second to answer a question. Okay, let's see. CLDX? Oh yeah, CLDX has been on a lot of people's radar lately. Look at that, guys. Nice. Valkyrie says, I think he means VPVR indicator on trading view. Oh, right. No, I don't use that. I don't use that. If I did use it, wouldn't that be considered a little bit of redundancy? I'll look into that. But I guess to answer your question, no, I haven't used volume profile. But I do know what you're talking about. Those horizontal bars. Yeah, thanks for the clarification, Valkyrie. So, Tara, Tara asked about the guy. So, let me see. Go to the Benzinga is right here. Go to support chat. Support chat, and then you should see it at the very bottom here, Benzinga Squawk. And double click that, and then click listen. And then you'll have Benzinga.
VNET.
VNet. VNet is parabolic right now. It's slightly parabolic. Volume is kind of sketchy right here, isn't it? Tara asked about so she's using Thinkorswim, and a lot of stocks are rejected. Really, I thought Thinkorswim was very could find a lot of. Are there better platforms? Well, honestly, the best platform in my opinion right now is Lightspeed. A Valkyrie? No, I didn't trade. Man, I didn't trade it. I would have this week, but you know, since everybody showed me how to verify if it's tradable on this thing, on this TradeNet, and I've been using TradeNet a lot lately, is it tradable? No. Of course it's not, because it's just too exciting. And every time I'm on TradeNet, you know, UONE is halting on my halt scanner. It's halted right now, isn't it? Oh no, it halted around 11:46 today. It's just really volatile, and I've only been on Lightspeed once, so. Oh. That's very possible that because you're on paper trading mode, Terra, on Thinkorswim, things aren't the same. But guys, any of you using Thinkorswim as a trading platform? If you are were you able to trade OUNE? I don't know if anybody is. For day trading, a lot. You are, Alex? For my knowledge, yeah. And if that's the case, I would assume that Thinkorswim is actually really good at finding trades, finding shares. Long, okay. Well, yeah. Well, no, actually. Because, well, at least not for me. I'm more short biased. I would definitely want to be able to short it, but I think in the scheme of things, right? According to the daily, going long is a good idea. All right, guys. My voice is going. Haven't been a teacher in a long time. Talk too much. You guys ever feel like when you talk too much, you get like, you feel guilty? I don't know. Maybe it's a guy thing. Generally, I don't talk that much. Oh, you have a cash account. That's not a bad thing. A lot of people are feel safer that way. than buying on margin or shorting on margin. You're just keeping it real. Personally, I don't know how you do it. There's nothing wrong with that, having a cash account. Wait 2 days. That's not bad at all. You know, the only argument I can have with Thinkorswim, people are arguing about the lag, but coming from somebody who's been trading for over 10 years, the lag on Thinkorswim is not that bad. I mean, I've lived with it when I had E-Trade. The only thing I don't like is the level 2. It's just, I can't make the font larger. And, you know, Asians and small eyes and all. And bad eyesight. Can't see the level 2 very well.
TSLA, Tesla says company is introducing the lowest ever cost to go solar in the
VNET.
US. TSLA, Tesla.
Robinhood. I've always been questionable about Robinhood, but you know, it's too new to me. I can't understand how someone trades on the phone. But I guess as long as it's not a volatile day trade, it should be fine. Swing trading something on Robinhood sounds like a pretty good idea. Ever since that young man committed suicide, they're trying to blame Robinhood. Doesn't make any sense. It's not Robinhood's fault. Or is it? So I was reading the news about that, and it just doesn't. I'm not an options trader either, so can't really speculate that much. But was that the real case, Carnan? Or was it just because it was... Yeah, I don't think that was the issue. That was just, that wasn't the overall... I don't know. But, I don't think it was Robinhood's fault at all. Unfortunately. It's just really unfortunate, you know. So prayers to that guy and his family. Makes me really want to understand. VNet is still kind of sketchy, but makes me really want to understand how to trade options now. Just to understand the story. How hard can it be? But yeah, I didn't mean to like close this session on that kind of note, but guys, I'm tired. So if you haven't already, please click the like. Gently depress the like button for me. VNET may be a trade in the near future, but the volume is still kind of just down there. So thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for sticking around, ramble with me. Maybe someday I can wake up early enough to get this stream going to maybe find a trade. But yeah, if you do smash the like button, make sure you have a spare mouse because you don't want to break it. But take care, guys. I'll try to have that video up this weekend on what not to trade, and give you a little quick compilation of my new approach in trading and why it's so hard to create a video now, because look at VNet Go. That was kind of unexpected, right? So this is one of those that you just kind of can't predict, even though it hit the 18. I don't know, I wouldn't have traded it. But yeah, hey, you're very welcome, guys. Thanks for sticking around with me. Otherwise I'd just be talking to my cat, which isn't a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Alright, take care, guys. Hope you had a green week, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Stop recording. Stop